Yeah, that's right. It's,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, we're recording.
Okay.
So,
Whoa. Now we gotta be
Where's
careful what we
Whitaker?
say.
We played golf today. He's got to be around somewhere.
I'm sure our three fans are going to want to hear all about it.
Hole. It's the
Maybe it's
19th
gonna-
hole that'll get him.
Taking a nap. It's 100
Okay.
degrees here today, so I don't know how hot it was in Springfield, but yeah, we hit 102.
My God, you guys are hotter.
It was hotter than hell.
Mhm.
It was only
Here
87,
tomorrow.
87 today here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
67 where I live.
Woo.
Oh, wow.
It's 107.
And I'm at an
Wow.
elevation of 200 feet. So,
We hit 68 up here, Mike.
oh, wow.
Woo.
There's Whit.
There's what.
Heat wave.
Okay. Come on, Whit. Off mute.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's got
I don't
the
see his
video.
face at all.
Oh, he's got the video thing X'd out or whatever, crossed out.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Stopping video, so.
Well,
Come on,
since
Gary.
we're recording, Leave No Trace is a 2018 movie from director Debra Granik. She, as you all know, is the director of Winter's Bone. Granik and Anne Rosellini wrote the screenplay based on a 2009 novel by Peter Rock. Rock's idea for the novel came from a story in the Spokane Spokesman Review from 2004 about a man and his 12-year-old daughter living in Portland's Forest Park. The movie stars Ben Foster from a movie we've seen before, Hell or High Water. He was also an X-Men on occasion. 3:10 to Yuma, Lone Survivor. It also introduces Thomasin McKenzie, who was born in 2000, so she was 17 or 18 when they did the film. The film generated about 7.7 million, but I couldn't find any cost info, although Winter's Bone had a cost of about 2 million. The movie deals with homelessness, off-the-grid living, PTSD, and dysfunctional family issues. The film showed at Sundance and was picked up by Bleecker Street and Bronze Studios. Like Winter's Bone, it portrays a young girl's struggles to keep her family together as she steps into the adult world. It's a ride without answers, but presents a flicker of hope for Tom's future. Also, it's the most reviewed 100% rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes. And Mike Sanders, just so you know, Godzilla -1 was at 98%.
Wow.
Wow.
Yay, Godzilla.
I thought it was a really nice small movie.
Mhm.
I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the family situation that they learned through. A movie kind of draws you slowly into what's going on. There's not a whole lot of action, so I may have lost some of you in watching the movie, but I thought it told a nice story. And with that, I'm out.
What's up with your arm there, Gary?
It's his shirt. I
Oh,
don't
it's
know.
your shirt?
Ah.
Oh, okay. Looked like you were wearing like a sling or
Off
something.
the shoulder piece. That's what it looks like.
Sorry.
Hey, he tore the
That's from his
sleeve
golf
off to go
game
with the
today.
movie.
So was this a movie about veterans affairs? Was it a movie about environmentalism? Was it a movie about I wasn't sure what the movie, what do you think the movie maker was trying to do?
I think, like I said, I think it's another story about a young person becoming the leader of the family. The struggles with PTSD and with outside influences, only set up that she was growing, everything from the 4-H to the little place that they ended up living in that mobile home court. I think it had more to do with character growth than being about PTSD or I don't really know that I saw the environmental thing. It is interesting. This was all filmed in Portland, Clackamas County and Multnomah County, which is basically Portland. And so I just thought it rang true. And they adapted the story from this novel that was written in 2004. So I don't know. I just, it sucked me in as I watched it more and more.
So which character did you sympathize with, dad or the girl?
Oh, the girl.
You know, that's an interesting, I mean, I agree with everything you said, Mike, but I felt that it was more, I mean, the thing about Winter's Bone and this film, in my opinion, is that you know that there are people out there like this. I happen to like this one a little better than Winter's Bone for me personally, because I think the relationship between the father and daughter was so strong, and he was a good father, and you knew how much they loved each other. And as far as the dysfunction was his ability to live amongst people, but I didn't think there was that much dysfunction in their relationship, the father-daughter relationship. I thought he cared about her in everything. He cared so much about her. She cared so much about him. It was, well, as Gary would say, the arc is when that little girl recognizes, I think the key scene or the key line is, what's wrong with you, Dad, is not what's wrong with me. And she recognizes that she's an individual apart from her father. The saddest thing is for me is that there are people like this. PTSD is so awful, and our veterans that aren't being taken care of, whether, the other side of that, do they choose to be taken care of or not? I don't know, but I'm sure there are just lots of veterans that aren't being taken care of, and that's when that gets me. But I like this one better because to me it was more, I like the relationship between the daughter and the father. And if you remember Winter's Bone, the father was awful, he was a criminal and all that. But this father he was a good father, but in the only way he knew how to be a good father, on his own with her. That's it. Well, was my take.
Mm-hmm.
Well, defaulting back to the arc argument, he didn't grow, she did grow, and as a result they grew apart. And there were times when I was mad at him for being selfish. That he was given every opportunity to break out and escape from his past, and I'm not a veteran, I haven't suffered through that, but just watching these characters as an audience member, I was frustrated with him that he wasn't taking advantage of the opportunities to break away. And then the daughter said, what haunts you doesn't haunt me, so I've got to move on. And I thought that was the essence of the story, that
me too.
Two characters, one grew and one didn't, and eventually when that occurs, they fall apart, they grow apart. Heartbreaking, but true.
I loved how she left the knapsack of food free for him at the very end. I mean, that was really touching. Food had been left for someone else, who knows who it was for, but she left that in hopes that her dad would find it and have some sort of sustenance out there in wherever he was. But they were very, very close, but she grew way past him, and she knew she had to have a home. She wanted a home, a place that she could call her own, and she she made sure she got it. So kudos to her.
Yeah.
Do we
And
know
she
what-
also wanted the social aspect, you know,
Yeah.
meeting other people her age, and yeah. So, yeah, yeah, you could see the hunger for that in her. She's a phenomenal actress, by the way.
Yeah.
She was
She's
so
great.
good. Yeah, she
Mhm.
was just really good.
Didn't
So,
she run into, didn't they run into good people every time
yes,
something
Yep.
happened? As
Yes.
opposed to Winter's Bone, where what's her name? They ran into bad people every time they turned around.
right, right.
Well, that's the difference between Missouri and Oregon. There you go, right there. Sandra lived in Portland. I was curious if this resonated with you as, oh, that's in my backyard.
Oh, it did. It looked very much like Mike was saying, Multnomah Falls and all that sort of thing. I could see from the beginning that they were going to break up. It just didn't look like it was going to work. He was
Yeah,
always struggling with her, and he's dragging her along. You got to move faster. You got to do this. You got to do that. And so I thought it was pretty sad at the ending when they broke up. I knew it was going to happen. I knew she was going to be the one to do it because he couldn't handle it. And all he was doing was running away from his problems again, you know.
Mhm.
And there he was, all set up, and he had to work. They weren't going to let him do it and just sit around. He couldn't, you know, only go buy some OxyContin and bring it back to the camp and sell it to somebody else. He didn't really want to work on making Christmas trees and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, a lot of that, even around here, with the rainforest over in Quinault, it looks just like that. It's pretty amazing, really.
Do you think they portrayed him as not willing to work or not willing to work with helicopters flying over and
yeah,
Yeah. The helicopters that did him in, he couldn't handle
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it was the structure. He just did not like structure. He wanted to be in
He
a
didn't want to
natural
be
state.
around people. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like people, helicopters, and just society, you know, itself. He just didn't want to be a part of it. And who knows why, you know, I mean, I can't even imagine what happens to some men when they see the things that you see and more. What does that do to your, what does that do to your brain? What does that do to you? And, you know, it was just so sad. At least, but I did think that they loved each other tremendously and that they had to split. I never got the sense that he was selfish, but I can see where you'd see now in retrospect. Now I see where I got this. I just felt so sorry for him. I just felt so sorry for him that he couldn't break away, you know, from those feelings, without, you know, without help. And you're right. He probably did have all the options to go to a psychiatrist and go and all that stuff, but just couldn't do it.
One of my favorite character actors in this movie is Dale Dickey, who was also
Yes.
Right.
in Winter's Bone. And she was, as usual, she's great, I think. But she told the girl a couple of times, now I really need to know if you are running from something or if somebody's after you, you know, you can stay here as long as we're being straight with each other. But I can't just find that out. And I don't know. I see a lot of homelessness here, and I don't know how people do it. There's a guy, I live a couple of blocks from a park. It's got a mile walking track around it. And there's one guy that lives in the park, and they keep their equipment there and stuff, so they don't really let homeless people stay in the park. But he goes down there and he gets in a shelter, you know, which is just so he doesn't get wet. He's got all his belongings in a backpack, and he gets up every morning and he walks up the hill where I live, and I watch him go by. And then in the evening, I see him go back down, and he does not look happy. And I don't know where he's going. My neighbor stopped him one time and had a cup of coffee with him and talked to him a little bit. I think he's catching a bus, and then he's going down to where they actually feed people. And so that's what he's.
I'm sorry, they actually what?
Feed people.
Feed.
Oh, eat. Ah, yeah.
He's,
Yeah, to eat people.
They're serving meals, not people, but they're serving meals. But it's really sad.
Yeah.
One time I was driving along 72nd Street, and I live on 68th Street, so it's not very far. And there was this guy that was near the railroad tracks at McKinley, and he was bent over completely, but still standing up. And I said, I looked at Teague and I go, "What the hell is that?" And she goes, "Oh, that's the fentanyl stance. If you pass out, you'll die, but if you stay on your feet, you won't." You know, and so they want it to
What's
last.
it called?
Oh my God.
It's the
Oh, what kind of dance, Mike?
Fentanyl stance.
Fentanyl
Oh,
stance.
fentanyl. Oh, I get it. Oh, wow.
And I had
Who
never
knew?
heard of that sort of thing.
No.
She's worked with, before she was with the Attorney General's office doing real estate, which is what she does now. She was into crazy people who had to get committed and that sort of thing. And so she understands that whole thing better than most people do. But I just do not get it. And they'll set up camp, like there's a Planet Fitness on that corner, and they'll set up right there, right in the sidewalk, and put all their tents up and everything. And then you drive by another time, the cops are there kicking them out and telling them to go away. And I don't know how to solve that problem. It's a tough one. But I did feel really bad with for the father and daughter in this movie. I thought it was pretty sad that she had the wherewithal to say, "Go on without me. I'm not going," you know. And sometimes that's what it takes. Somebody's got to be the adult and say, "I'm going to do this."
Right.
And if you don't want to, that's fine. If your problem is not my problem, you know. And that was, she grew up quite a bit there.
So who do you think the movie maker wanted us to be sympathetic towards?
The girl.
The girl.
Yeah, I would think so. I don't know.
Why would it have to be one or the other?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. I would say both. Yeah. Because I did feel for him, you know. I don't know that much about PTSD, but I do know that it never goes away. It's always there and yeah, I felt really sorry for him, and I think I felt both of them, you know, I felt sorry for both of them, and hopeful at the end because she walked away from it. So.
Well, post-traumatic stress disorder can, in a sense, go away in that what makes a disorder is versus, something that you can cope with is, the difference, of course, is treatment. But, the sort of the hallmark of what makes something a disorder is if it significantly impairs your ability to just live everyday life, just those typical adaptive behaviors of getting yourself bathed and dressed and fed and all of that sort of thing. So there are some fairly effective treatments that work for people that have had PTSD. The experience of the trauma and the memory of the trauma may not go away, but that it is a disorder can be addressed, and a lot of people do recover.
Yeah.
There's been a fair amount of research with cannabis and PTSD that has people have really come out of it or have gotten off other medications just by kind of balancing their mood somewhat. I've heard about that.
MDMA, psilocybin.
Reefer madness. Yeah.
Where's Terry when we need it?
I thought about Terry a little bit when the guy put the TV in the closet.
Yeah.
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 That was one of his first acts when they moved into that freeform house.
Let's get rid of this stuff. We don't want to hear about this. Yeah.
I had an ex-brother-in-law who did that. He and his wife would put the TV in the closet, but then bring it out every once in a while and let the kids watch, PBS or something.
John Prine had a song about it. Blow up the TV.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Wow.
Matson, I was
with a G.
Matson, I was impressed with the 252 positive Rotten Tomatoes reviews. Is like the most positively reviewed movie in the history of Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what in the heads of the reviewers they saw. That, I mean, what was it about that movie that got such widespread end-to-end positive reviews? I mean, the acting is, interesting, but it's not, Oscar winning. The story really doesn't resolve itself. I was just curious, I was trying to figure out what it was that made 250 reviewers say that's worth watching. I don't have an answer. I just have a question.
The scenery.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty.
Scenery is beautiful. Yeah. I loved all
I think it's that. I think it's the story about how she grows, and he more or less just puts up with it. I mean, he was on the tree farm, and you said it before, every experience they had almost was positive. I mean, the social worker took him to the tree farm. They left there, found their way to the RV campground, the bees, all this stuff left there.
Well, they also mentioned at one point, there was a point in the movie where they said, wow, you are so far advanced without school.
Right.
On your test scores, which reflected back on the father as, he may be out living in the wild, but he's making sure she's ready to live in the real world.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. The love between the two of them I thought it was just the thing that worked for me, how they cared about each other and how he was showing her all those things that, how they were able to live in the wilderness. They were, I don't know what they were doing, squeezing something to get the water out of it.
Moss. Some kind of moss.
Oh, was that? I would have. So
it would have been nasty.
Yeah,
and I think she felt so bad when she was spotted by the jogger and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Until later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had anybody seen this movie before?
No.
Nope.
I had never heard of it. Never heard of it. That's what's so. I mean, I saw Winter's Bone and heard about that, but never heard of this.
I've been seeing it advertised. I must have been on Prime, because that's usually what I watch these movies on. But or maybe it was Netflix. I don't know, but I've seen it advertised.
Huh.
Well, I think once the League of Unpaid Film Critics started downloading it on Amazon, it probably shot up in terms of revenue and like.
That's right.
Influence we have. Yeah.
There are a selected few influencers who watch us and make a big difference in that.
Yeah, we're on TikTok. Yeah.
Feel the earth move. Yeah.
Yeah. Except I got to do my makeup first.
How did you find it, Mike?
It was a rabbit hole. I just was looking for something to watch. I didn't look at lists like I normally do for documentaries or lists. I just ran across it and I said, that sounds interesting. And
Good one. Good.
Yeah.
watched it before I passed it on. And I thought, man, it's a small film. It's worth it. The Debra Granik background made me interested to learn a little more. And I thought the parallels were pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just ran across it. It wasn't even looking at Rotten Tomatoes for the most highest reviewed
movie. Yeah.
movie.
Jeff Arthur, what'd you think?
Well, you guys have covered most of what I thought, but
Let's cover it again.
well, I mean, the ending, of course, was real sad. I'm not sure how she was expecting that she was going to pay her rent in that trailer, whatever that rent was, or how she was going to support herself. But I suppose she'd figure it out. I wondered if they were ever going to see each other again, because how would they contact each other? They didn't have phones, of course. So that part was sad, but I was happy that nobody in the film, as it's been mentioned, nobody turned out to be, wackos or sickos. I was afraid when she was trying to flag down those people on the motorcycles or the quad or whatever it was, that they were going to turn out to be some creeps.
Yeah.
But they weren't.
Mhm.
So
They're the most
yeah, I mean,
violent
I enjoyed
people.
I enjoyed the film.
The
I
most
like
violent
the
people were the rangers who cleared out their campground.
right, right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
those guys that took out the shelters, the homeless shelter with
Yeah.
the,
yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty intense.
Yeah, it was.
Well, Portland has a huge homeless problem. I mean, Seattle does too, but I don't know, Portland might even be worse. But
And you live in Portland, right?
me, no, I'm
No.
I'm north of Seattle, about
He
60
lives
miles
north of Seattle and Mount Vernon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But Sanders, you lived near Portland for a while, right?
Yeah, when I was in Vancouver, Washington, Portland was right across the river.
Do you know this forest they're talking about? Whatever the name of, what's it? Forest
No,
Park?
I don't, but I do recognize that bridge that they crossed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I crossed
Yeah.
that bridge many times, and the
I
tram.
thought that was an interesting scene. You see them all in this
yeah,
deep woods, and then 5 minutes later, they're walking across the bridge. I mean, I thought then you knew they're just hiding out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that
And
tram,
that tram
is
was interesting, Mike.
Yeah.
that goes from one hospital to another hospital, which is weird.
Really?
And
Huh?
so, they've got, a place where you can buy coffee or whatever at the top and the bottom of it. But basically you get on the thing with 20, 30 other people and they tell you it's going to swing a little bit, but don't let that worry you. Hang on. And you do it. But we did it just to do it one time for fun. But we parked up above and then rode the tram back to get back to it.
So does it actually go to a VA medical center?
No, it's not that I'm aware of or that I can remember. No.
Hollywood. So Karen, you touched on PTSD and the cures and treatments. What was your take on the movie?
Oh, I didn't get to see it, but Bill said show up anyway, so here I am. Yeah. I know. If you guys were hoping to get like a mini Bob when you invited me, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to be huge nothing like him. No.
You're filling out the Hollywood Squares perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You did get to see
But
it?
Bill gave me some advice and something, and I think I'll be better able to participate.
Yeah, I
Future.
told her we would talk about it a little bit after we get done with the review about how she was kind of having trouble finding it, what services we use to get movies, things like that. So we'll kind of go over that in a little bit.
What'd you think, Bill?
I liked it real well. I was thinking, when it started, I thought it was for sure a Mike Madsen, independent documentary, and then I started looking at these people, and I'm going, I think I've seen that guy before somewhere. He's not some father. That's a real actor. And I thought, what's his name?
Ben Foster.
Ben, yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in Hell or High Water. He was in 6 Feet Under, which was a show I kind of liked back in the day.
Oh, I did too, yeah.
I don't remember him in that or anything like that, but I liked it real well. I mean, I was, about halfway through it, I was kind of like, I wasn't quite like Mike Sanders' experience. I didn't know what was going to happen at the end. I was like, I was thinking about the name of it, Leave No Trace. Does that mean one of them's going to go away and they're never going to be found again? Didn't mean they both would be leaving,
No, those are survival skills. Leave no trace.
Huh? Oh, Bible.
Yeah.
Leave no trace, those are survival skills.
That's just a camping edict.
Yeah.
But I
Right.
mean, really kind of had an ending that was the best for both of them, I suppose. I don't know. As long as he can go back to his park and find a place where he could be all by himself. I got a feeling that's not happening anymore either. But no, I liked it real well. I thought it was real interesting.
Seems like being by yourself is the worst cure, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if anybody here were to be out in the forest and come across a little encampment like that, would you tell the rangers that you found it, or would you just leave it alone?
I'd
I
leave it
would-
alone.
I'd leave it.
I'd leave it.
If I saw a grown man and a preteen, I don't know that I would leave it alone.
Oh,
I would,
well, that's true.
that might change the dynamic.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
point.
and all he saw was her and the jogger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But even that, why would he tell anybody? I mean, she wasn't doing anything weird. She was just reading a book,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And how does he know she wasn't just a jogger or a camper or whatever, you know?
Yeah, or she
Yes,
just
it-
maybe she just wanted to be left alone. Like, like bug off, jogger.
Yeah, Jeff, I think it would depend on the context. If I came upon, a middle-aged man and a teenager camping out, I might say something.
Sure. Yeah, and the trucker guy, alluded to
Mm.
that, said, what's going on
Yeah.
here? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
You
right.
When the social worker was talking to him, she said, like, so how do you guys sleep? And she said, oh, we sleep right next to each other because it's warmer.
Mhm.
And it was, it's exactly what it was. It was nothing else, no weird subtext
Right.
there.
Right.
But there were opportunities for people to be suspicious all around.
But if you talk to any Korean War veterans, they slept as curled up and as close as they could to survive. There was nothing else going
Yeah.
on. And that's the only way they could stay alive was on each other's body heat.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the 3 Dog Night phenomenon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Wow.
Does anybody remember a movie much like this? Only it was Vito Morganson, and it had
The
he had
Road?
His family.
no, he had his family. He had like several kids, and he was schooling them all out in the woods.
Vaguely. Yeah. Vaguely.
I can't remember the name of it, but that was pretty good. And
I think
Frank Langella was the father of his wife. I guess he had lost his wife, and he ended up camping with the kids. And the father wanted to take the kids away from him and all that. If you do happen to run across that, it is a pretty good movie. It's along these lines, but it's on like a bigger scale. It's not quite such a small movie. It's a little bigger. It was Frank Langella's last movie,
Mm.
for what it's worth. But it always kills me how things come to me while I'm in the middle of the thing, and then I can't look up anything on my laptop because I'll lose all of you. And
You
I do have
need laptops.
Well, that's why you
Well,
need the magic phone. You get it, you get the magic phone out while you're
I
doing it.
think that movie was called Captain Fantastic.
there you go.
Ah, yes.
Bill.
that's-
Oh, I've
Very-
seen that. Yeah, yeah. That's very good.
It was up for best picture, I think. Might have won. I don't know.
I don't think so, but
No, you think it was up?
I've got too many devices, Karen. I've got a TV that's beyond my laptop, and then I've got 2 keyboards that go to the TV, and an iPad.
Well, see, you can look things up on your iPad then.
I could, but then I'm afraid I'm pretty good.
But
It's no wonder you buffer all the time trying to run 7 devices.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you've got
yeah.
kids poor internet.
You've won the internet company.
you win for best t-shirt. Leave no trace t-shirt. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
this is from national parks. That's their motto. At
Yeah.
National parks is leave
Yeah.
no trace.
That's how I know the phrase. Yeah, from
Yeah.
camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pack it in, pack it out.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
but not with a Yeti on the front.
Yeah.
I'm reading a book right now about Sasquatches around the world, and it is odd that they appear everywhere.
They do.
You know? And people swear by it. Teague has an aunt, and there's no way you could tell her that she did not see Bigfoot. You know, I've got another T-shirt that says Bigfoot saw me, but nobody believes him.
That's funny.
But I don't know how that happens. We're everywhere, you know. And here in the Northwest, it's almost like
Well, you've also got like UFOs. There's people that would, I mean, these are legitimate the Air Force pilots that will swear that that's what, you know, they saw a UFO or whatever you want to call it now. Call it something else now. But
Yeah. Crazy sons of a gun.
yeah. But you know, I don't know, you know, maybe.
Also, this area Northwest is where D.B. Cooper supposedly jumped out of an airplane with a couple of $1 million bucks in his backpack.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's been going on. They're still finding evidence about that, and they're still trying to figure that out.
That was only 250,000. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
It was
that's
worth $2
right.
million in today's dollars.
Right.
And I tend to go with the original thought on it, which is no one can jump out of a passenger airplane and not get swept back into the engines, you know. So to just pull that off it wasn't like it was made to parachute out of the airline.
Did he jump out of a passenger airplane?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
707, I think.
Through the door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. So we got any more juice to squeeze out of this one?
Nope, I think we're good. We need to talk about, are we meeting next week? And
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
who's the pick?
It would be
Oh,
mine.
Chris. But you're off till the 22nd?
Yeah. So I can either do July 1st or wait until the 22nd. Either one.
What's
Who
the
got
thing on the holiday?
You, Chris.
Like, two
We've
people
done
are talking.
discussions without the person that suggested it. I think we can manage it.
What'd you say, Bill?
We've done discussions without the picker before. I mean, she could pick one and we could still discuss it, I think.
Yeah, but
Who comes after Chris?
Discuss it when, Mike Sanders.
That's me.
Yes, that
We'll
is you.
switch.
yeah, why don't you guys switch? Yeah.
Well, except
Well,
I'm gonna be
I
gone the 8th and the
You're not gonna
15th.
be there either.
I can't be there on the 1st though. My siblings are coming to visit, and I have to take them to the
Mhm.
that
We
day.
talked about skipping the 1st, though. It sounded like quite a few people were okay doing that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
how many?
Bill
how many
said he's
people-
gone.
I'm gone.
I can skip.
I can skip.
Mahoney's already said yes, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I didn't notice Mahoney was missing.
So-
Yeah.
Damn it,
That-
I can't skip. I'll be there for the first. Screw the rest of it.
Be a very one-sided discussion.
Okay, so we're off next week.
All right. So
Okay.
July.
Yeah, that means July 8th would be Mike Sanders.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and then,
should I go ahead and announce my pick tonight?
well,
Sure.
let's get July lined out here so I
Okay.
know.
All right.
So
Oh.
July 1, we're
Miss
off.
Planner is now at it. Okay.
I am. Miss Calendar. I'm a calendar girl.
A calendar girl. Oh
Ah.
my.
Oh, that was bad. Okay, so July 8th is Sanders. And then, so the 15th is Mike, who comes after you?
Maybe me.
Whitaker.
No, it
Yeah.
would be
Or-
Karen. It would be
Karen.
Karen.
It would be
Karen.
Oh,
Karen.
Oh, I didn't know I was getting into the sequence. Okay.
Oh yeah, we do it
Well, the 8th
alphabetically.
is The 8th is the night before I leave for England. I don't know that I'll
No,
probably,
you don't have to pick for the 8th. You have to pick for the 15th.
and then the 15th I'm in England.
Well, actually,
Oh, so you're
Chris
not gonna
could
be
switch
here.
if she switches with Mike. Would Chris be back in time for the 15th?
No,
She's in
No,
the-
okay.
she's not.
All right. Okay.
She's out
Never
for
mind.
the 22nd.
All
Yeah.
right.
I'm clear out the 22nd. So if we take Karen out of the mix for right now, then that means the 15th would be Gary.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
that gives you
and
more
then-
time to think, Karen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always.
We usually don't let new people do it right away. We just.
I was gonna
let
say,
them-
you can push, I can get pushed down the road.
Okay,
Hey, I
so the
got a
20
break. I
The
was just
22nd is
here.
Chris.
Yeah.
8th is me.
All right, we need the 8th, and then we just need the 8th. Who's gonna do the 8th?
That's
Sanders.
Mike
It's Mike
Sanders.
Sanders.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. I thought for some reason you weren't. You're,
No, the
okay.
first is where I can't make it.
I got it. Okay. Well,
I
good,
I can do the 15th.
good.
Okay. And I have
All
the
right.
22nd.
There you go.
We're
Which
done.
on the 15th, I'll send out an email with my pick, which I already know what it is, but I'll wait.
Okay.
And then Karen's movie on the 29th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
When
could
you-
do Karen on the 29th. Will you be back?
Oh,
No?
yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to do the 29th, which means you'll have to announce your pick on the 22nd. So we'll be ready for the discussion on the 29th.
Well, she'll be gone.
I'll be back by the 22nd. Yeah, I'm not going for the 3 weeks. I'm not teaching. I'm just going as a tourist. I'm just gonna, which I'm excited about because
Good.
probably been to London a dozen times as part of the faculty when I'm in Oxford, but we ought to always leave in the morning, take a coach with all the students and the faculty and spend the day. And then by 6 o'clock, we'd be back on the bus. I'm actually going to spend like 3 nights in London, which I've never done before. And I'm looking very
Oh,
forward to it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Good
yes.
for you.
I love London. Oh, great.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Find a nice English film for us.
Yes,
There you go.
Oh, okay.
there's tons of them too. Yeah.
There are. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna announce my pick.
Okay.
Just Mercy.
Oh, good one.
Just Mercy.
Just Mercy. And I
Mhm.
can't, I think it's, I can't remember what it's on.
Oh, I
I
don't
wasn't
know.
ready to pick tonight, but anyway, you'll find it. It's got it. It's a death row story about black guys in Alabama end up on death row, and then this Harvard lawyer who is also black moves to Alabama and starts working on all these cases. And it's got Jamie Foxx as one of the main characters. So
So
I think it's
between,
2019 or 2020.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay.
between now and July 8th, we watch your movie and we discuss it on the 8th. And on the 8th, somewhere between now and the 8th, I tell you a movie to discuss on the 15th.
Yes.
On the
Right.
15th, Chris picks a movie that we discuss
On the
on the
Second.
22nd.
Right,
Yes.
Second, Karen picks a movie that we watch on the 29th.
right.
We all
Yes.
in sync?
Yeah.
All correct.
Yep. If we have any questions, we're going to ask you, Whitaker, because you got it all right.
I've got it written down.
Rest of us are going to be out of town for the whole month.
All right. While we're still here, any recommendations just in general?
Well, wait a
Yes.
sec. I mean, I think, this is kind of a good movie to discuss, like what Karen's question was, which is, how do we decide if we're going to pick a movie? You said, I don't know exactly where you find this at.
Oh,
What's
Yeah.
this?
Karen, I was having a discussion with Karen that, what's an acceptable service for a movie? And I said, well, if it's on Netflix, if it's on Prime,
Mhm.
pretty acceptable. I mean,
Yeah.
paying $3.99 for a
yeah.
movie acceptable.
I think I had to pay $4.29 for this one.
I'll reimburse you.
No.
It was a little bit cheaper on Apple TV or iTunes.
Oh, wasn't I have Apple?
It was
I don't
like
know
20
why.
cents cheaper. or
It's
something.
free on the
Yeah.
library.
But
Yeah.
isn't that pretty
I
much?
should have done, I forget about that. I got to do that.
Karen,
Do you
isn't that
use,
pretty much
Karen, do you use Real Good?
No,
If you use
I've never heard of
realgood.com, REEL good,
Real.
all one word, it'll show you what service everything is on, whether
Okay.
it's a subscription, whether it's a rental.
Well, doesn't IMDb do that too, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
IMDb
I
does.
usually look in
Yes.
IMDb.
IMDb is owned by Amazon, and so they're always going to tell you it's available on Amazon to
Amazon.
rent first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the only catch with those
Right.
guys.
yeah,
They don't.
Just
Yeah,
ask
Real
them
Good.
where it's streaming
Good.
and they'll tell you.
yeah.
Real Good
Yeah.
would tell you if there's no place you can get it too. So
Right,
if you
right.
come up with an idea that it
Yeah.
doesn't work.
So look it up first. Don't suggest one that's unavailable.
Yeah.
Right. I know. I
We've
was
had
looking
that
for Room with
happen.
a View, which I know is a really old movie, really, really,
Oh,
really
that's a great
I-
movie
I
though.
love it. And I couldn't find it anywhere, even,
Really?
but that was a while ago. Maybe it's, sometimes they
No.
just disappear and then they come back, or
Yeah.
maybe I'm just pathetic at finding things. I don't know.
Jeff
There's
Bezos has
always
done
that.
all- Yeah.
All right, well, I've got a recommendation, because since we're going to have a lot of time to watch, Remembering Gene Wilder. It's on Netflix.
Yes, I think I recommended that. Isn't that great?
Very, very good. I mean, how can you
Where
miss
is
that
it?
guy? I mean,
Yeah,
just-
it was so good. So good.
he's
Did
an
you say
incredible Netflix,
Okay.
Mhm.
and it's
Yeah.
a Remembering Gene Wilder, and it's got Mel Brooks and a bunch of people he worked with.
Oh, it's
and
so
Carol
good.
Kane
Yeah.
and that sort of thing, and it's just it was a
Yeah.
joy to watch. That guy was incredible.
Who was Gene Wilder? I don't remember.
Is Gilda
No.
Radner's husband.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
The
I
Bear is
figured-
The Bear is available starting on the 27th, the third season.
Starting tonight.
Oh,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I was also going to mention about things coming up is that Beverly Hills Cop is coming back. And
Oh
it will
my
be on
God.
July 3rd on Netflix. And I watched
Wow.
Beverly Hills Cop #1 just to get ready for it because I wanted to be ready. But it's called Beverly Hills Cop: AF.
Yeah.
And when I first saw that, I thought Beverly Hills Cop as fuck, huh? Jeez, But then when I watched the first movie again, that's the theme song.
Axel Foley.
Axel Foley is a
Right, but that's also the theme song. It says, underneath when you're using the caption, now playing AF.
Great.
That's funny.
More creativity from Hollywood.
Matt
Yeah.
Stafford and I played golf today, and the grounds crew sounded like the Beverly Hillbillies coming through the golf. Clang, 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 clang.
Well,
Different.
I have a recommendation. I watched The French Dispatch again. Jeffrey Wright, who was in American Fiction, is in that. And of course, Bill Murray and Adrian Brody. I could watch him, read from the
yeah.
book. I love him. But it's a Wes Anderson, so you have to really like Wes Anderson. If you don't like him, you won't like it. But I was glad I'd watched that one again. I recommend that one.
That is good. There's so many that are so good to rewatch. What I just watched recently is, I think it's a documentary, If You Like Tennis, Federer, the 12 final days. It's his last 12 days before he retired. So if you like tennis, that's kind of an interesting one.
And they
And
weren't even
another-
planning. I'm sorry. I don't think
No,
they
go
were even
ahead.
planning to. I don't think they've been planning to publish that. They were just taking some movie of it, and it was so good they decided they would put it on.
Yeah. It is good, especially, he's like a goat, so it's just interesting because it just gives you more. He's such an emotional guy, which is kind of amazing for someone in his profession. But it's good. Another one, an old one, but again, I had read the book, and this is the movie of it, 9 Perfect Strangers. I don't know if you the book was really good.
Well, that book was not really good. I just
you didn't like it at all?
I hated it. Oh,
why?
I finished it. I'm just like, well, there's 2 days I'll never get back. Yeah, no.
That's funny. And you didn't then you didn't watch the movie, I take it.
No, I wouldn't be watching that movie. No.
And
what's it called?
but isn't it based on a true story? Isn't that the one that's the oh no, I'm wrong. This one I vaguely remember liking the movie. But there was another one that maybe it's 3 Perfect Strangers, where it's the government that separated the triplets.
Oh, that's different.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Perfect
Oh,
Strangers are the people that get kidnapped and then microdosed. Yeah. Only
That's
more,
right,
more,
that's
more
right.
more macrodosed than microdosed. Yeah.
Yes.
That one was weird as AF. Weird AF.
And the other one, that's another documentary it's kind of interesting. It's called The Jewel Thief. And it's a real story about this kid that becomes such a good thief that he just makes his stuff bigger and bigger and bigger until he finally steals one of Cece's, Cece from Austria, the princess of Austria. In the museum, he finally steals one of her brooches. I mean, he just goes from stealing, and he films all of it. So it's real film of him doing this stuff, and he kind of does it like James Bond, It's an interesting documentary. But he did it all in England and in Canada. I mean, not England, Canada, and then overseas.
What's it called?
That one's called The Jewel Thief.
Jewel Thief. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to quit until you all watch Driving Madeline. I'm just not going to quit until you watch it. I don't know.
It's on now. It wasn't on Netflix when you said it before, Gary. It wasn't, but they're showing it now, I believe.
Okay. All right.
I looked at it. They did a preview of it. So yes.
Donna, I wanted to tell you, I watched Monkey Man.
Oh, what'd you think?
For an action movie that's Hendo, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Well,
yeah.
At the theaters for quite a while, but it's on Paramount Plus.
But it's so well. I saw it in the big screen where the blood, the twisting of the celery, all those bones crushing, and how they make it sound like the bones are all crushing, and there was so much. For me, it was too much, but that's what I said. You guys might like it more than I did.
I'm going to
if anyone's traveling to the Southwest, to Santa Fe, New Mexico, go northwest of there to Abiquiu, to Ghost Ranch, where Georgia O'Keeffe lived when she wasn't in New York City. And there's a wonderful Georgia O'Keeffe biography, and that's what it's called, on YouTube. It's an hour and a half, and watch that before you go. And oh my gosh, the scenery is outstanding, and you can pick out the different parts. If you can take the tour, and they'll stop you at different points and say, okay, this is where she took this part of this side of this mountain and made this painting. And it won't be the whole thing. It'll maybe just be the bottom third. We're in a certain light, and it's very, very interesting if you're.
What's it called?
Georgia O'Keeffe biography.
All right.
And it's on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Karen had mentioned that Shakespeare in the Park was going on. And so we got reservations for As You Like It. But in preparation for that, because I don't read a lot of Shakespeare or haven't for a while, the verbiage is so flowery. I thought I better watch this before I go see it so I understand really what's going on. So I watched a 1974 version of it with Helen Mirren, which was amazing. So that's kind of old, but it's like you pay like $2 for a week worth of exposure to it, and I found it very interesting and fun to do. So kind of hard to go wrong with Willie.
Yeah, it is.
And did you make it to the play?
Yeah, we got a blanket seat right in front of the stage, and it was carried off beautifully. A really nice mix of characters. You know, Shakespeare allows you to substitute different genders and different races and whatever you want to do to carry off those parts, and they did a beautiful job. So we enjoyed it very much.
Good.
Glad.
Thanks, Karen.
We did it here last week in Kansas City, Shakespeare in the Park, and ours was Julius Caesar. They did a good job of it too. It's always fun. We go every year. So I'm going to see Inside Out 2 tomorrow.
Box
Oh,
office
good.
Buffalo.
And then I'd like to see The Bike Riders pretty soon.
Oh, yeah, I saw that advertised. I love like Austin, what's his name? Austin, the one that
Powers.
played Elvis.
Hours.
Elvis Presley.
Yeah, but
Austin Butler.
Thank you, Austin Butler. Yeah, he's in it. So, yeah, that could be interesting.
Anyway,
All right.
All right.
all right, we
Good
did good.
times. Good times. Good call.
Yes.
Yep, good
Yeah, good
call.
call,
Thank
Michael.
you.
Take care.
Have a good 4th, everybody.
Everybody have a good
Yeah.
4th. See you on the
We're not,
8th.
we're not meeting
Have a
next
good
week.
trip, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
have a great trip.
All right,
Thanks.
we'll see everybody soon.
All right.
Bye.
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 Bye.